There's a machine sitting in your house right now, humming quietly in a corner, trusted with your bank logins, your private messages, your family photos, your medical searches, your entire digital life. And inside that machine, a war is being fought that almost nobody watching this has been told about. A war between a corporation that built an empire on your trust and the millions of ordinary people who just found out that trust was never mutual. And by the time I finish telling you what has actually happened over the last 18 months, you will never look at that little blue and white logo the same way again, because this is not a story about software updates. This is a story about betrayal on a scale so massive that the company responsible cannot even find a way to spin it anymore. So let's start with the number that should have made front page news everywhere and somehow slipped past almost everyone. In July of 2025, Windows 11 finally clawed its way to a peak of just over 53.5% of all Windows desktops on Earth, according to independent tracking data. And for one brief, shining month, it actually looked like Microsoft had won. Like the years of pressure and marketing and forced migration had finally paid off. And then something happened that has never happened before in the entire modern history of operating systems. The number didn't keep climbing. It collapsed within a single month. Windows 11 started sliding backward, and Windows 10, a system Microsoft had already declared dead, already stripped of support, already buried in press releases, started climbing back up. By August, people who had already made the jump to Windows 11 were actively rolling themselves back. And people who had been sitting on the fence chose to stay exactly where they were rather than take one more step forward. Think about what kind of decision that actually is. These are not hobbyists. These are not people chasing nostalgia. These are everyday users choosing a security-abandoned, officially unsupported operating system over the one their own computer manufacturer was begging them to install. And that is not a hiccup. That is not a rough patch. That is a verdict delivered by the people who actually have to live with the product every single day. By December of 2025, the numbers had only gotten uglier. Windows 11 down near 50%, Windows 10 rising back toward 45%, and buried inside that same data was a detail so absurd it almost reads like satire. Windows 7, an operating system that is now 16 years old, an operating system Microsoft killed off years ago, an operating system running with 0 security patches and 0 manufacturer support, actually gained market share during this exact period, climbing to nearly 4%. Let that fact sit in your chest for a second. Human beings are choosing to run a 16-year-old skeleton of software, accepting every risk that comes with it, purely to avoid what Microsoft built to replace it. That is not nostalgia, that is refusal. And to understand how a trillion-dollar company ended up here, you have to go back to the decision that planted this bomb in the first place, back to 2021, when Windows 11 first launched, wrapped in hardware requirements so aggressive that independent research estimated roughly 240s. Million perfectly working, perfectly capable personal computers were locked out overnight. Your machine suddenly needed a specific security chip, a processor from a narrow list of approved generations, a boot mode most people had never even heard of. And Microsoft dressed all of this up in the language of security and modern standards. Security, they said, as if that word alone should silence every objection. But here's the detail that exposes the entire justification as theater tech enthusiasts around the world took those exact same incompatible machines, bypassed every single blocked requirement, and ran Windows 11 anyway. No crashes, no instability, no mysterious security collapse. It just worked. Which means the wall Microsoft built was never a technical necessity. It was an architectural decision engineered to force a hardware replacement cycle. A cycle that just happened to funnel billions of dollars toward manufacturers selling new machines. This is planned obsolescence, not the slow degrading battery kind you find in a phone, but the cold, deliberate line in the sand kind executed entirely through code, and the human wreckage from that single decision has been enormous. Families who could not justify buying a new computer were told their existing one no longer counted. Small businesses running on thin margins were handed a capital expense they never budgeted for. Students in developing economies were told that devices bought only a few years earlier were now technologically obsolete by corporate decree. Surveys across the United Kingdom in 2025 found that roughly a quarter of Windows 10 users planned to simply keep using it past the official end of support date, security risk and all, while another meaningful slice said they were leaving Windows altogether. These are not rounding errors. These are millions of real people looking at what Microsoft was offering and calculating that staying on a dead system or leaving the ecosystem entirely was still the smarter option. And then October 14th, 2025 arrived, the date Microsoft had been dangling like a guillotine for years. The day-free security updates for Windows 10 finally stopped. On the moment the company had built an entire marketing campaign around as the day of reckoning. And what actually happened when that day came, Windows 11 did not surge. Instead, enterprise customers reached for their checkbooks and bought extended paid security contracts just to keep running Windows 10 in open defiance of the upgrade. Microsoft was demanding. Corporations that had spent decades quietly following whatever Microsoft's roadmap dictated were now standing in the open saying, "We will move when it benefits us." Not one day before, and if you think that's just internet grumbling, listen to this. Dell's own executives confirmed publicly in 2025 that Windows 11 adoption inside enterprise environments was trailing every previous Windows generation by double-digit percentage points. At the same point in its life cycle, this is not a Reddit thread. This is one of Microsoft's most important hardware partners standing in front of the press, confirming the rejection is real, measurable, and growing. And if you think the hardware wall and the market collapse are the worst of it, you are about to learn why this stopped being a business story and became something far more personal. Because underneath all of this, underneath the charts and the percentages, there's a darker story about what your computer has actually been doing behind your back. And once you understand it, you will understand exactly why so many people decided enough was enough. It begins with a feature called Recall, unveiled in 2024 as Microsoft's flagship showcase for a new generation of AI-powered machines, marketed with soft, comforting language, an intelligent memory system that remembers everything you've worked on so you never lose track of anything again. And buried underneath that comforting pitch was the actual mechanism powering it. Recall works by silently photographing your entire screen every 5 seconds. Every single thing that crosses your display captured, your banking login captured, a private medical search you thought no one would ever see captured, confidential business files captured, messages from an app you specifically chose because it promises to disappear captured. Anyway, all of it stitched together into a searchable archive sitting quietly on your own hard drive. And when independent security researchers cracked open that archive, what they found should terrify anyone who has ever typed a password into their computer. Essentially no meaningful encryption, plain readable text, fully indexed, instantly searchable by literally anyone who gains access to that machine. The backlash was immediate, and it was furious. Technology communities didn't call it a misstep. They called it spyware. They called it surveillance architecture. They called it a corporate keylogger built directly into the operating system you paid money to own. The pressure became so intense that Microsoft was forced into full retreat, scrambling to make a recall optional instead of switched on by default. But even after that public climb down, researchers who tested the revised version found the promised protections were mostly theater. The Windows Hello pin meant to guard access to your recall history could be bypassed. And the filters supposedly built to stop sensitive financial information from being captured were still letting credit card numbers slip straight through. Microsoft announced a privacy fix and delivered a privacy illusion, and users noticed instantly. But as unsettling as recall is, it is only the opening chapter, because in January of 2026, a report detonated across the technology press that made recall look almost quaint by comparison. It revealed that in early 2025, Microsoft had handed over BitLocker encryption keys directly to federal investigators. And if you don't know what BitLocker is, here's why this matters so much. It is the full disk encryption system baked directly into Windows 11, marketed to you as the wall that keeps your files locked and unreadable if your laptop is ever lost or stolen or seized. Millions of people trust it precisely because they believe not even Microsoft can break through it. And the investigation, backed by real court documents from a fraud case, revealed the uncomfortable truth. Microsoft can retrieve those keys. And when a federal warrant lands on their desk, they will hand them over. And the reason this is even technically possible traces back to a quiet architectural decision baked into Windows 11 itself. When you set up a new machine using a Microsoft account, something the operating system pushes you toward at nearly every step. Your BitLocker recovery key gets automatically uploaded to Microsoft's own cloud servers, framed to you as a convenience, a safety net in case you forget your password. What they don't put front and center during setup is the second half of that convenience. It means Microsoft now physically holds the key to everything stored on your hard drive. And federal investigators in that Guam case, who openly admitted they lacked the tools to break BitLocker, themselves simply walked up to Microsoft and asked for the key instead. And Microsoft complied. The encryption itself held perfectly. It did exactly what it was designed to do. And Microsoft opened the door anyway. A cryptography expert from Johns Hopkins University put it in the bluntest terms possible, stating publicly that Microsoft's inability to properly safeguard critical customer encryption keys made it an outlier compared to the rest of the industry. One widely respected technology outlet summarized the entire architecture in a single devastating sentence. Windows 11's online account requirement quietly backs your encryption key up to the cloud, and Microsoft has now confirmed it will hand that key to law enforcement on request. That same Cryptography expert added something even more chilling, that he personally would not want to be a journalist relying on BitLocker in today's climate. A direct reference to reports of federal raids targeting reporters. Sit with that for a moment. A professor at one of the most respected universities in the world is telling you, on the record, that the security infrastructure inside Windows 11 cannot be trusted by anyone who genuinely needs. Privacy and the surveillance doesn't stop at encryption keys, because Windows 11 continuously harvests data about how you use your machine, what applications you open, how your hardware is configured, every interaction you have with the system. Microsoft calls this telemetry and insists it exists purely to improve the product. But users who went into the settings and manually switched it off found something deeply unsettling. Updates would quietly turn it back on without a single notification. Disable a feature, an update, reinstalls it, remove an assistant, Microsoft pushes it, rig HD back onto your machine. Starting in October of 2025, Microsoft began force installing its AI assistant onto Windows 11 machines running its productivity suite. No opt-out screen, no permission request, and if you don't have administrator rights on your own personal computer, you cannot even remove it. And out of that frustration, users coined a term in early 2026 that spread like wildfire across every corner of the internet. A blunt fusion of the word Microsoft and a slang term for machine-generated junk, and it stuck because it was accurate. And Microsoft never found a way to answer it because there was nothing to say. The name simply fit, and if the surveillance story is disturbing, the technical collapse that unfolded alongside it is almost more damning. Because this isn't a story about a company failing quietly behind the scenes. This is a story about failures happening in broad daylight, reported by millions of users, dismissed by support staff as user error, and only confirmed by the company itself months later once the damage was already permanent. Take the January 2026 patch cycle, Microsoft's most basic monthly obligation to its users, the routine security update, and instead of protecting people, it broke sign-in across multiple major applications. Simultaneously, communication tools stopped authenticating entire. Productivity suites locked users out. People across enterprises sat down at their desks on an ordinary Tuesday morning, opened the tools their entire job depends on, and found themselves locked outside their own digital workplace. Microsoft had to scramble an emergency out-of-cycle patch just to undo the damage caused by its own official security update. And that is not a minor bug. That is a quality control failure of a magnitude that should trigger serious conversations in any competently managed company. But this disaster didn't appear out of nowhere. It was the culmination of a pattern that had been building for over a year. An annual version update that should have been routine instead introduced multi-second freezes on systems running certain processors connected to multiple monitors. Imagine sitting at a machine worth thousands of dollars, mid-task, and watching your cursor simply freeze. In place for seconds at a time, gamers, historically among the most loyal and passionate users in the entire Windows ecosystem, watched their frame rates collapse update after update. High-end hardware suddenly performing like budget equipment because of scheduling bugs that were not subtle or rare. They were reproducible, widespread, and reported for months before anyone at Microsoft acknowledged them. And then, in November of 2025, Microsoft admitted something that stunned even long-time industry observers, that core functionality inside Windows 11 was fundamentally broken. Not a cosmetic glitch, not a minor visual quirk. The update. The mechanism itself, meaning a brand new, fresh installation of the operating system, downloaded straight from Microsoft's own servers, could complete setup and then refuse to download any further updates at all. Users compared it to receiving a brand new car from the factory with the engine already seized shut and then December delivered. Embarrassing into almost unbelievable File Explorer, arguably the single most used tool in the entire operating system, would flash a blinding white screen every time it opened while the system was set to dark mode. Microsoft confirmed the bug existed and told affected users to simply roll their systems back. No immediate fix, just retreat. Ask yourself how a defect visible to literally every single person using dark mode manages to slip past a testing pipeline at a company spending billions of dollars every year. The name simply fit. And if the surveillance story is disturbing, the technical collapse that unfolded alongside it is almost more damning. Because this isn't a story about a company failing quietly behind the scenes. This is a story about failures happening in broad daylight, reported by millions of users. Dismissed cycle, Microsoft's most basic monthly obligation to its users, the routine security update, and instead of protecting people, it broke sign-in across multiple major applications. Simultaneously, communication tools stopped authenticating. Entire productivity suites locked users out. People across enterprises sat down at their desks on an ordinary Tuesday morning, opened the tools their entire job depends on, and found themselves locked outside their own digital workplace. Microsoft had to scramble an emergency out-of-cycle patch just to undo the damage caused by its own official security update. And that is not a minor bug. That is a quality control failure of a magnitude that should trigger serious conversations in any competently managed company. But this disaster didn't appear out of nowhere. It was the culmination of a pattern that had been building for over a year, an annual version update that should have been routine instead. Introduced multi-second freezes on systems running certain processors connected to multiple monitors. Imagine sitting at a machine worth thousands of dollars, mid-task, and watching your cursor simply freeze. In place for seconds at a time, gamers, historically among the most loyal and passionate users in the entire Windows ecosystem, watched their frame rates collapse update after update, high-end hardwire months before anyone at Microsoft acknowledged them. And then in November of 2025, Microsoft admitted something that stunned even long-time industry observers. The core functionality inside Windows 11 was fundamentally broken, not a cosmetic glitch, and not a minor visual quirk. The update mechanism itself, meaning a brand new, fresh installation of the operating system, downloaded straight from Microsoft's own servers, could complete setup and then refuse to download any further updates at all. Users compared it to receiving a brand new car from the factory with the engine already seized shut, and then December delivered a bug so visually obvious it crossed from embarrassing into almost unbelievable File Explorer, arguably the single most used tool. In the entire operating system would flash a blinding white screen every time it opened while the system was set to dark mode. Microsoft confirmed the bug existed and told affected users to simply roll their systems back. No immediate fix, just retreat. Ask yourself how a defect visible to literally every single person using dark mode manages to slip past a testing pipeline at a company spending billions of dollars every year on research and development. The honest answer is that quality control has not kept pace with the speed at which updates are being shipped, and ordinary users have become the unpaid testers absorbing every consequence. March of 2026 continued the tradition without missing a beat, and productivity tools yet again, triggering yet another emergency fix. One of the most respected independent technology publications covering Windows summarized it perfectly, calling the consistency with which these updates break basic system functions genuinely baffling, and noting something crucial, that unlike operating systems built around atomic update models capable of cleanly rolling back without damage, Windows modifies a live running system in place. And when that process fails, which it now does, with disturbing regularity, users are left staring at unbootable machines that require a complete reinstall just to function again. And the workaround process the community had to build to survive, Microsoft's own broken update infrastructure, reads less like a technology support guide and more like instructions for diffusing an explosive, run administrative commands, execute system file checks, manually stop background services, rename system folders, restart everything in a precise sequence, temporarily disable your own security software, disconnect external drives before attempting an upgrade. This is the ritual ordinary people are now expected to perform just to install a routine monthly patch, and meanwhile the interface itself, the part of the operating system people touch every single second of every single day, kept drawing documented fury from professionals who need efficiency to do their jobs. The taskbar, a design element that has existed since 1995, was rewritten from the ground up and stripped of functionality people had depended on for 3 decades. You cannot move it anymore. You cannot resize it. You cannot drag a file onto an app icon the way you always could. The right-click menu now buries most of its options behind an extra click labeled Show More Options, adding thousands of extra clicks per day across the desks of photographers, editors, developers, and writers, managing complex workflows. Power users were forced to install third-party registry tweaks just to restore functionality that Windows 10 gave them for free. Microsoft eventually admitted the redesigned context menu was flawed, but only after shipping it to hundreds of millions of people first, declaring it finished and calling it progress. And that is the pattern. Over and over, ship something incomplete, absorb the backlash, quietly patch it eventually, move on to the next thing, while the people actually using the product every day pay the price in the meantime, and everything you've just heard, the collapsing market share, the surveillance architecture hiding inside your own machine, the encryption keys quietly handed to federal investigators, the update cycle that keeps breaking the exact things it's supposed to protect. All of it funnels into a single question. The entire technology world is now being forced to confront in real time. Is Windows actually dying, not Microsoft? The corporation? Their cloud division is thriving. Their productivity subscriptions are booming.